T-Dog, J-Boy, and me, I'm Lugs. Our pride and joy is pumping our mugs. Be careful, kids, it could get rough. We're flipping our lids on sports and other stuff.
Thanks for stopping by to waste the next 30 minutes. Welcome to Sports and Other Stuff. And just a reminder, please support our sponsor. Oh, wait a minute. We don't have a sponsor. Okay, never mind then. See there, we've already saved you some money. You don't have to go spend anything anywhere. Just sit and listen. Welcome to Sports and Other Stuff. Now, here are the Sports Weasels, Lugs, J-Boy, and T-Dog.
Thanks to John Young one more time on that big, lovely introduction. We have lots. I don't even know where to start on this show. College football. Purdue beats Michigan State, and their season's over. Let's just say it. Alabama squeaks one out. We don't know what that means. But the NFL, craziest week of all. Jordan is not loved. What is going on with Patrick? He's not the old Patrick. Look out, here come the Titans. What about the craziest week ever? Lugs, your biggest surprise of the week. What do you say? And good evening, and good morning, and hello.
All right. With a baseball score of 9-6, I'd have to say Jacksonville beating Buffalo. The two Josh Allens meet on opposite sides of the ball, and I think the defensive Josh Allen got the best of that. You got to give it to the Jaguars. I mean, it was a nasty game. They dropped passes left and right in the end zone. Their kicker missed 3 field goals, but they held on to win number 2. Could this be a start of a trend? So that's my take on Jacksonville right there.
I'll stick with Jacksonville, and then we could go into the Green Bay KC game. Even though Buffalo lost and KC won, I think they both have similar problems in that the way they played offense. I mean, obviously, at least Chiefs had multiple years of it, 3 years of it. Teams have figured out, how to defend against that offense and essentially just playing a cover 2 shell and just not allowing them to get beat over the top. And I think the same things happened with Buffalo. And I think we've kind of said it a few weeks before. And the thing that's frustrating with KC and also even with Buffalo is you look at the score, they were always in it. Why they didn't try to run the ball more? Because again, if you're in a cover 2 shell, like it's a light box. Just run Singletary, run Zach Moss,
Right up the gut.
Run the ball, force them to drop somebody, and if not, you should consistently get good yardage. Try to hit the short and intermediate. Don't if they're not going to give you the deep pass, don't take it. Just take the gimme plays. Because I think the frustrating thing is you look at Jacksonville and credit to them for playing a hell of a game, but they didn't even have like Lawrence didn't miss that much, but like he went out for a while, and they're running with Carlos Hyde, who I don't know how he's credit to him for still being in the league, but I mean they didn't even have their best running back. You could say they don't even have their most talented wide receiver. He's been out for most of the year. DJ Shark. I still don't think Urban Meyer's that great a coach, but got to give him credit. Like they came in and like I said, like the frustrating thing with Buffalo and KC is I don't think they're that far from being what they were last year. They just have to understand what worked last year is not going to work this year. They have to add wrinkles. They have to adjust their offenses. They still have pieces to be I think the top teams in the AFC, but currently if they're going to be bullheaded, they're going to be this waffling right a little above 500, right at 500 teams, because teams have the blueprint now.
Well, I was just going to say, in Holmes' case in particular, patience is not one of his virtues. He loves, they go for the big play when there's stuff open in the middle, especially in that game, that just go ahead and throw the ball where it is.
He missed Kelsey a couple times wide open, right?
I mean, hey, I love Patrick Mahomes, but hey, if we're gonna kill Blake Bortles for not throwing the ball downfield, usually you want like a quarterback that throws above 7 yards per passing attempt. Obviously, really good ones are between like 8 and 9 yards passing attempt. For the game, he had 4.5 yards per passing attempt.
Yeah, what's going on?
And again, let's put it this way. You're like, oh, well, Green Bay has Jair Alexander. They do, but he's not in this game.
He wasn't playing.
Eric Stokes, their rookie, or their first-round rookie who's played well, he got injured in the game. He was out for most of it. I believe Daniels got injured early on too. So, and also Zadarius Smith isn't playing right now. And obviously, like I said, Green Bay, credit to their defense. Like, they have some people that have really stepped up.
I don't think we should kill Jordan Love just yet. I mean, he was blitzed a bunch, like probably 6 out of 10 times, especially on 3rd and 4th down when they tried to play. He did have a couple of throws that were had, polished to them, zipped to them. He did throw on the wrong side of Devontae Adams, and that was that. But may we sidebar here, Judge? Aaron Rodgers, can we just say flake? Is that a flake or what?
We just say liar?
Well, yeah.
Well, kind of like the crazy thing is, and obviously they'll bounce back from this, but you look at how Arizona Cardinals were able to win with Colt McCoy. So now they're 8-1, and the Packers are 7-2. I mean, you look at this game, and like you said, I'm not going to kill Jordan Love. I don't know if he's ever going to be. I know it's only one game. I don't think for watching it, there weren't like the big flashes that you saw with a young Aaron Rodgers. Where like, oh, he's going to be. But I'm not disagreeing with Loves that maybe he'll be a solid quarterback. I just don't see him being of that Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers. And I know that's one game. It's a big thing. But I'm just saying. Anyway.
But he's not a rookie. He's been around for a year and a half.
Yeah, he was. Yes. But I will say this. Clearly how close that game was with how mediocre Jordan Love was playing on offense.
Right.
If they had Aaron Rodgers, they destroyed this Kansas City team.
Right.
They destroyed them. And it because of him being selfish, because of him, like J-Boy said, lying about the situation, he lost a deal with healthcare. Like, obviously that's money out of his pocket. Obviously other teams are mad and upset that he didn't follow the protocol of unvaccinated players. So there might be money in terms of fines against him. It sounds like they won't, but there's talks that there might have been a draft capital loss by Green Bay. So it is a big deal, not only in terms of this season, but maybe down the line.
And one more step. I think he cost them a bye or a home playoff game if this game is that pivotal, because it may well be that loss to Kansas City.
But you keep talking fines and stuff. Nothing will be fined against Aaron Rodgers.
No.
Green Bay may have to pay some fines because, let's see, New Orleans had to pay $500,000 because
for the the bounty gate.
No, last year because of COVID violations.
Oh, gotcha.
But nothing's going to happen to Rodgers. I just think of him as very selfish, self-absorbed. There's one team that he plays for. It's the Rodgers Rummies. And that greasy hair, I'm going to say this nasty thing right now. That greasy hair comes from him walking around with his head up his backside 90% of the time. Boom.
The Rodgers Rummies. Rummy dummies?
Yeah. So anyway, a more selfish human being. And I'll say one more thing, and I'll let it go. If I were one of his offensive linemen, people that put their trust in him, and he lied to them for this long, I believe there would be a couple of times in every game for the rest of the season where I would go, oops, look out, and just let them take him apart.
Here you go.
That's what they did to Favre at the end of his career.
Let me have a free shot. Come on, let me have a free shot.
So there you are.
Okay, I like it.
I will say, I guess moving on to another game, and I kind of already talked about it a little bit, is Arizona Cardinals versus San Francisco 49ers.
Yes.
This game was a kind of a interesting, and not to take too much away from one game, but let's just be recency biased. This game is definitely I'll apologize again to Cliff Kingsbury. I'll keep doing my waffle.
Yeah.
This was a great,
right.
this is, I mean, they didn't have Colin Murray. They didn't have DeAndre Hopkins.
Yep.
And Colt McCoy plays an exceptional game against a talented defense. San Francisco does still have a talented defense.
A good team.
And he was 22 and 26 for 249 yards, averaged 9.6 yards a game, essentially double what Patrick Mahomes did, and had a touchdown pass. And, their talented speed back, Chase Edmonds got injured early on. James Conner, who was left for dead by the Steelers, he had 21 rushes, 96 yards, 2 rushing touchdowns. Also had a receiving touchdown where he had 77 yards receiving. Like, they adjusted everything. And also, this isn't like you're like, oh, well, they don't have George Kittle. George Kittle came back. He had 100 yards receiving and a touchdown. Ayuk played well. He had 89 yards receiving and a touchdown. Both of them had timely fumbles that were recovered by Arizona. Jimmy Garoppolo had a pick at the end to essentially wave it off. But, this isn't, like I said, this is one credit to Cliff Kingsbury. This was a big year for them. They needed to make the playoffs, and definitely now it looks like they're definitely, if not the number 1 seed, they're definitely going to make the playoffs now. I doubt they're going to completely fall apart like they did last year. And it's also a fascinating game because you look at San Francisco, they're 3-5.
Yep.
And as much as I'm not going to say you all, as much as I respect Kyle Shanahan as an offensive mind and gameplay, as a head coach, this is what, year 5? 4?
At least 4.
Yeah, 4. So he has one winning season. This team is not going to have a above 500 record.
But he wears a snazzy cap, man, that flat bill. He wears that well.
He does. But, and again, they had Garoppolo. And look, he had a costly mistake at the end, but, you look at how Garoppolo played in the loss against, and not to say people disagree with me, Garoppolo played well against Packers. He played well against Chicago. He played, for the most part, well in this game. Like, you can't be like, oh, well, he doesn't have his quarterback. Look, Garoppolo's his quarterback. I know down the road, Lance was supposed to be his quarterback, but, he might not be there because the way they've played under him under 4 years, most coaches get fired. So
with what happened to the Packers, the Cowboys, and the Rams, we haven't talked about that yet, clearly the Cardinals are the cream of the NFC. No question. No question.
I'd have to say right now, but you know what? I still can't get solidly behind the Cardinals, and I can't explain to you why at this point, but they seem to win, and they won it without really, it was like the second string beat San Francisco. I think this is Shanahan's, it has to be a swan song, if not pretty soon. That's just embarrassing.
Mr. Nagy, meet Mr. Shanahan. We'll meet you in the unemployment line. That's what I'm saying right there.
Now, another embarrassment to me was Denver sticking it to Dallas. It was supposed to be Dak's big comeback, but Dak just looked, you could tell he hadn't played for a couple of weeks. He was rusty. Denver coming off of the whole Von Miller thing, traded to the Rams. I expected Dallas just to stick it to him, but you know what? They did it. Now they've lost their offensive line. Denver's is just in a shambles. So I worry about Teddy Bridgewater going forward of being protected and that sort of thing. But for this one game, man, they did themselves proud. I just have to say, and
they were like world beaters. I agree. Wow.
Yeah, it was one of those moments where you couldn't do any wrong.
And I was so impressed by how many Denver fans were in the Jerry Dome. He had to be PO'd, man. You hear the crowd? Denver was all over that.
It
was funny, actually.
It was nice to see that Denver clearly had an idea on how they wanted to play, and it's nice